Lisa, coming to you from yet another rainy day here in North Carolina. This must be the rainiest May we have ever had, but I know some areas have been really inundated too, so it's just a nice soft rain today. The day that we visited Hunting Island State Park in South Carolina was a beautiful sunny day, and it was probably the warmest day of our trip. So I was actually a little overdressed. I wished I'd had on shorts that afternoon on the beach. The park is an island that's uninhabited other than the visitors. I guess there may be some people who live there to take care of it. I don't know. But the visitors, people can camp there and you can walk the different trails. It is a much sunnier island than it once was because it's lost thousands of trees in the last two hurricanes that they have had to remove, and then there are some that are just down and you can see them on the island, as well as these trees that are on the beach. They call this the graveyard, where all these trees, I guess a lot of them have washed up from different places and they've weathered, and they're really beautiful to see the way they've weathered, the way the limbs have intertwined, the root systems, when everything is washed off of them. They're just really, really attractive. This was probably one of my favorite photographs from our day there. Hunting Island is closest to Beaufort, South Carolina. It's quite a ways from Hilton Head because you have to drive around to get there. It's probably not that far in real distance, but in driving distance took about an hour and a half to get up there. So it was an interesting time, and I wanted to capture that on a page. And I was queuing off of some of the greens and looking for the green that matched the best, and I could use some pistachio pudding cardstock if I still have any, but I never got that far in looking for papers because I thought, well, first I'll look at what designer paper I have, and out of my green drawer I have this paper, which I think this is Stampin' Up, and I think this is actually meant to go with the pistachio pudding color from a few years ago. It was an in color at one time, and it had a little brown in it, so I thought, well, this is a really good one. Let's see what else I have though. So I knew I had one collection that had a lot of greens in it. It was Hillside from Basic Gray, and the solid greens were not really the right shade of greens. This is actually not bad with all these leaves and stuff. I hadn't really noticed that, but most of them were not bad. But I did have this wood grain that I came across. I thought, well, I wonder what that would look like. I think it'll be too much wood, but let's see. So I slid this under my photos before I turn the camera on, and I just love it. I think it is the perfect paper for the background. So I've dispensed with the whole green idea for the background. I did pull out the 6x6 pad in case I want to do some other prints on here. I'm not going to have a lot of room with so many photos. I'm actually thinking though of taking one of the photos, like the one with the trees, and hiding it behind another picture and doing a flip over kind of thing. I took a class some years ago, one of Chamel's classes called 4x6 Photo Love. I think this was back on the old 2Ps site. I'm not sure. I don't remember if I took it directly from her or from there or from that site, but there were lots of ways to add photos and to hide them. And I remember one of the layouts was like a 4-photo thing that came together in a point, and then you flipped open and you had a place for another photo and some journaling. And that's as well as I remember. I haven't gone and looked the layout back up to see for sure what I had there, but that's what I recall. And I think I'd like to do that with this one. And then we'll have a place to put journaling, and we'll have a little bit more room on the page for this background paper and maybe some embellishment directly on the page. I don't really want to have to trim these photos down much. I could trim, let's see, can I trim both of these? I can't really trim that one. So I could trim this one a little bit if I wanted to maybe frame it some, and I could trim the top off of that a little bit, but I could just go all the way to the edges here once I get the branding strip off. But anyway, I think this is a really fun paper, and I just now considered something. I could turn the paper the other way too, because you know the trees are all laying down. That's interesting. That really kind of goes with the trees more to do that, since they are fallen trees. So I kind of like, I don't know if I like that look as much. Let me flip something around here. It's a little bit heavier design down here on the bottom. Yeah, I like that too. So we'll have to see which way it's going to work. I think I'll trim a little bit of this off and see if I can add a little more designer paper to the page. I've got to have somewhere for a title. It's probably going to end up here. And then when you have pages like this with a lot of nature stuff, I'm challenged to do a lot of embellishments because I don't want to really do leaves or trees or that kind of thing. I could, but I'm already saying that with the photos. So I'll just have to browse my stash and see what I have in embellishments. I didn't get that far before turning on the camera. So let me see what I've got. I may have some things about the two of, this kind of you and me kind of embellishments and adventure and things of that nature. What I was looking for and the reason we went out to Hunting Island is I thought we were going to have a lot more rain on our trip than we actually had, and I was looking for things away from the island to do, and I was looking at Beaufort and I stumbled across this. This would not have been a good location to go on a rainy day, but it was just something I came across. I'd never heard of the island, didn't know anything about it, so it was just a little bit of an adventure to get off of our normal activities that we enjoy while we're down there. So I may find something in those little more adventurous kind of embellishments to go with this page.
So let's take a look at embellishments that I found. I looked for things that were light colors, especially wood grain I thought would work well, but it needed to be like the white or something that was already painted white. And I had this one thing that said Explore, and I thought I might make that as part of the title and just use some really small letters to say Explore Hunting Island. That one set of stickers there from October afternoon, just about, it's camping related, and I do not camp. Motel 6 is camping for me. I mean, I just, sleeping out under the stars does not appeal to me with the bears and the bugs and, all that stuff. So I am going to use that one sticker that says, let's go camping, and just write not in there. Alright, so I'm looking for some paper that I might complement the photos. Not a lot. I don't want a lot of color here. I need to know, though, what color washi tape I'm going to use. I'm going to use washi tape to hold together or to create my flip over with those photos on the bottom. I will glue the two photos together, and then I'll run washi tape up the whole side to hold one of the other photos in place and to create that flipping over idea. I saw this on Pinterest some years ago. I've used it before in videos. It's a really good idea to use washi to hold down and create something that flips over. And I really like, under Explore, it had some words that said this way, but it was in orange, and I really like that bracket shape, but I decided just to use it with some of the designer paper and cut out this design. I mean, I have a silhouette. I could pull up a shape and cut it, but this is right here, scissors. My computer was downstairs, and there was, this was just fast and easy. So I did that, and then I can use that as the sort of handle for the little door that's going to open and reveal another photo and some journaling. I did decide to run the paper vertically. I just felt like it looked better. Didn't represent the trees laying on their side as much, but it just looked better overall. So that's what I went with. Then we're going to do a blue washi tape to go with the blue sky. And we'll press all that down, and I will need to trim it at the top so that I can fold open that one photo. Okay. And then I can glue the other two down, probably do that off camera. Let's see what other, well, I'm going to do the words first. I have Explore, and I just want to say Hunting Island. I went through a bunch of different small, these are all, I think, October afternoon stickers, and trying to decide which ones I wanted, and I just wanted to say Hunting Island. So I have that in place, and I'm adding that it's let's not go camping. That was a big draw there on that park, but we're not doing that. And then these embellishments, I really wanted to use this, the little hearts. I liked the soft blue color. and I've got a little camera there, and I forget to do this. I intended to put an enamel dot in the middle of that camera, and I forgot to do that. No, I know what I did. I did a button. Sorry, I'm spoiling it. Coming up, there'll be something going in there. I did have an Enjoy the Journey flare pen. And of course, I don't really want to pen to anything, so I take my needle nose pliers and I deconstruct as much of the back as I can, kind of flatten it out so it won't be so thick. Just try to do that carefully, not to hurt myself or the papers or photographs or anything. And I'm adding some foam tape to the back of it, and then I'll press that down on top of the photo. So the last thing I do need is something in the middle of the camera, and I'm going off the buttons on those hearts and picking out a couple of buttons here.
So I added my journaling underneath the flip out, or the flip over, and I cued off of this sticker. Let's go for a walk in the woods. Let's walk along the sunny beach to the tree graveyard and admire the weathered wood. Let's not climb the 100 or whatever steps in the lighthouse. Let's walk along the hot marsh boardwalk. Let's drive back to Beaufort for Greek food just in time before they close. Let's putter, but let's not go camping. So I don't camp. So that kind of summarizes what we did on the island. And the prettiest part was these trees. And I could also have mentioned how many trees they've lost out of this park. I think a couple of thousand trees from the last 2 hurricanes. So you could tell it was sunny in the woods, sunnier than you might expect. So anyway, but that completes our page with 5 photos, one of them hidden. And I did manage to get 3 embellishment areas. I didn't really expect to, and I've tried to keep the embellishments subtle so that they don't compete, at least in color, with the rest of the photos. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you will check out other videos. I've started a new series where I'm videoing the other crafts that I'm doing in a vlog kind of format, so I'm just talking about things that are going on. I think I'm going to divide that so that I have every week I do one, but I do a different thing. I do sewing, which is quilting right now, or I do one on knitting, or I do one, which will probably be less frequently because I don't have that many knitting projects at a time, or do paper crafting and talk about some different things besides just scrapbooking, or maybe some components of scrapbooking pages. I'm not sure what all will be in the paper crafting one, but the next one coming up will probably be quilting, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.